Okay, folks, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you joining and hearing a little bit more about opportunities at the Vermont Air National Guard. I'm going to introduce a couple folks to you, but first I'm going to show a video that gives a nice introduction to the Guard and what they do. So hopefully, if my technology is working well, this will work well. So I'm going to open this.
Hi, I'm Colonel Dave Smith, Commander of the 158th Fighter Wing. Let me welcome you to the Vermont Air National Guard, a world-class organization with a history here in Vermont for over 70 years. Our heritage ties back to Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys, and dates even further back to 1636 with the formation of the National Guard. Through its storied past, your Vermont Air Guard began their first major mission flying the P-47 Thunderbolt. Through the decades, we've flown numerous aircraft, with our current flying mission transitioning from the F-16 Fighting Falcon to the F-35 Lightning II. Flying aircraft would not be possible without the airmen and families that make up your Vermont Air Guard. With nearly 1,000 members serving both part-time and full-time, what makes the Vermont Air Guard so mighty is we serve you and our local communities, our state, and our country. You see, this is what makes us unique from any other military branch of service. We serve our local community when they need us most during times of crisis. And we also serve our country on operations and assignments around the globe. With over 80 career specialties, if you can think it, we probably do it. Our high-tech careers range from cyberspace operations, where airmen protect our nation's populace and national interest in cyberspace, to where the rubber hits the tarmac in aircraft maintenance, where airmen maintain the newest fighter aircraft in the Air Force inventory, the F-35. The 158th Fighter Wing was chosen to be the first Air National Guard unit to receive the F-35. This not only secures your Air National Guard here in Vermont for decades, but it also secures our local communities and our nation's freedoms for generations to come. As technology advances and as the world changes, you can be sure that the Green Mountain Boys of the Vermont Air Guard will continue to be there for our country and our state. For an inside look at what we do, come visit us or check us out on the web. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate all your support.
So on your left is Jesse Ranslow, and on the right is Reggie Lowry, both recruiters from the Air National Guard. We had an opportunity to go and visit the Guard base a couple of weeks ago, and really exciting to see all of the different occupations and opportunities there are to work at the Guard, both on the military side and on the civilian side. So there's a ton of different opportunities, and these two gentlemen are going to share a little bit about that today. So with that, I'll let them introduce themselves again, and then we'll walk through PowerPoint with Reggie. So if you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi everybody, I'm Jesse. I'm the recruiting office supervisor for all the recruiters in the state of Vermont for the Air National Guard. And this is?
My name is Reggie Lowry. I'm the recruiting retention superintendent for the Vermont Air National Guard. I've been part of the unit since 1987 when I got out of the Marine Corps, and I've been part of recruiting since 2000. Old? I'm that young. Yeah. I've been part of the recruiting office since 2005.
And so what we want to do today is just tell you a little bit about what we do, who we are, and why we are here in Vermont. And so first, we're going to go all the way back to before 1987 to where the Air National Guard started here in Vermont, or even the National Guard before that. So Sergeant Lowry has a presentation with some slides to show everybody.
Okay.
So we'll start at the very beginning. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'll just go over I'll go over each slide and just speak upon them just for a couple seconds. We'll go from there. So we're going to start with the history of Vermont Air National Guard. It goes back to the early 1770s. What Ethan Allen, as it shows, he's the oldest child. He's really from the state of Connecticut. Moved to Vermont, southern part of Vermont. Did not have an education because of a family situation. His father passed away, and then he had the opportunity to move to the state of Vermont. Next slide, please. And You know, as it shows up there, it talks about New York and New York wanting to take some land, and New Hampshire wasn't too crazy about this, so it went to trial and it showed in favor of New York taking the land. In New York, it was New Hampshire, I'm sorry, New Hampshire said, you know, is there anything we can do about it? So they went out, they got some guy by the name of Ethan Allen. He formed a militia, the Green Mountain Boys, and Green Mountain Boys were very reluctant about giving the land to try to definitely stopping New Yorkers from taking the land. So one thing led to another, and that's where the Green Mountain Boys were established. And it talks about the Revolutionary War going back to 1775 and the conflict with that, and then starting also indicating the capture of Fort Ticonderoga in 1775. Later on, it was the capture of Ethan Allen in 1775, and he's captured for a couple of years up in Montreal. And then, you know, talking about the Battle of Bennington being a turning point of the war. As you can see up there, also Vermont has played integral part in a number of different things, being the first state to abolish slavery, and it finally becoming to a state in 1791. So we go back a good number of years, very proud of what they've accomplished thus far, and what they're about to accomplish going forward in the future. And one thing Colonel Smith did indicate was that we became a guard in 1946, I'm sorry, and then, you know, the Air Force came into play in 1947. Next slide, please. So since 1946, the Vermont Air National Guard has been in a number of different conflicts, you know, going back to the Korean War, and we're still playing an integral part what's going on overseas right now in Afghanistan and over in Iran as well. As you can look, those are the heritage of different planes we have flown, going back to the earliest plane that Colonel Smith mentioned was the P-47, which is in the top upper right to the very bottom right now. Would you look at the F-16? We put that one to rest back in April of this year, and we're waiting for the F-35s to show up, and that should be sometime to the middle to the end of September of this year. We're going to get our first two F-35s, and we'll get a couple more each month after that. So you can look at this slide, you can see what our base looked like in 1946 and how it's developed to where we are in right now, almost in 2020. There's a lot of construction on our base as we're preparing for the F-35. As you look on the left in 1946, how small the base was, and the P-47s that we flew to the F-35s, which we're about to get in a few, well, about 6-7 weeks from now. And they did a number of projects on the base, extending the runway, providing new buildings for the F-35. So it's a whole new base for those who've been there in the past, and what we're going to see going forward in the future. Another thing that we participated in the mission trifecta, and what that is about, we have a state mission, what some of you are aware of, and we definitely have a federal mission as well. But we also have a state partnership, and we have a state partnership with two other countries and they are the two countries that we have a state partnership are with Macedonia and Senegal. And with those state partnerships is just about every Air Guard unit throughout the country.
Did I go? Sorry.
Maybe. Oh, okay, we can talk about that.
Go forward.
It would go forward. Okay, right now we'll just talk about the federal mission. I got ahead of myself. So the federal mission, that really got into play big time when 9/11 took place, and these are some of the missions that we participated in, the conflicts we participated in since 2001. And again, this is something we've been doing each and every year. And if it's not for, not just the pilots doing their job, but we have civil engineering going to different countries, building things, going to like Africa, going over to Europe, going to Hawaii. We also have a medical group that goes over to different countries, helping other countries out as well. So the federal mission has definitely expanded since 9/11 took place. You look at this right here. This is something I learned about the Great Flood in 1927. I was not aware of this until we did some research on it, and it goes again to the state mission that we do provide. And this one took place in 1927. We lost about over 1,200 bridges. I believe the lieutenant governor at this time lost his life, and there's a lot of participation from the Guard period helping out with this situation. Next slide, please. And then for those who recall, the ice storm. Wow, it seemed like just yesterday. That's 21 years ago. The ice storm that took place. There's a lot of participation from the Army Guard as well as the Air Guard, especially folks from civil engineering. participating in getting the electricity back, chopping down trees, so a number of different things. But this is one major one that took place 21 years ago, as you can see. And the Tropical Storm Irene, that one just seemed like it was yesterday. That was 8 years ago. And this is something where the Army Guard and the Air Guard work closely together, providing food, supplying water, help building roads. And not only our state participated, but we had other Guard units from New Hampshire, New York, and Massachusetts that participated in this Tropical Irene as well. State partnership I'm referring to, just about, this is something that just about all the Air Guard units throughout the country, or Army Guard units throughout the country, participate in. And ours are Macedonia and Senegal. And what we do is our unit will entertain their leadership coming to the state of Vermont, and we will also go out to Macedonia and Senegal. We'll work with their military in a number of different ways. We'll provide them medical attention as well, but we'll just show them, help them jumpstart their military division over in Macedonia and Senegal. And we work very closely with them, and we'll go over there about once every 6 to 8 weeks, providing any leadership opportunities that we definitely help them with. And that's where Macedonia is located. I had the pleasure of going there about 8 years ago. A great opportunity. They're just excited and eager to learn as much about the military as we are about to. We're just excited to share with them as they are to receive it. It definitely goes both ways. And again, they'll come over to us about once a year to see how we do our thing. Also, at the same time, we'll have some of the military folks that come to the States to go to some military training as well. And Senegal, we have again great opportunity with them. It seems like we go there about once every 6 weeks, and it's amazing. You know, we look what we have over here in the States and what they don't have over there. We take so much for granted, but they're just excited and eager to get their military up to par so they can do what they do on their end. Now, this right here, this gentleman right here is who we are. This gentleman here, he is a real estate broker over in New York, and he did work on F-16 engines. He loves his job. Now that's going away. That's contracted out, and he's in the process of looking for something else to do. But this is something he's been doing for the last 12 years. Again, it's 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of the year. Real estate during the week, and working on F-16 engines on the weekend. This gentleman right here, he was an F-16 pilot. He just recently retired, flying the F-16. He is a JetBlue pilot as of today. Yes. This gentleman here, he's an engineer on the side, but he's also an engineer on our base. This young lady right here, she lives up in, I think Hyde Park or Mooresville area, and she had a midlife crisis, and she says, I want to do something different. I want to join the military. She's raising 3 kids. I think the oldest one just graduated, and she's working in a recruiting office right now, and she works in the fuel shops. She looked for leaks within the F-16s, and she loves what she does. But I think she's joined like 33 or 34 years young, so you're never too old to join. And this gentleman right here, he's in charge of our medical group. He's in charge of OBGYN over at UVM Medical Center. He has delivered a number of babies for the women on the base, and he's just a great, happy-go-lucky guy. And this gentleman right here, he's an engineer during the day, and he works for EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. And that makes up a small portion of what we do. Again, it's something that these men and women make that sacrifice. They have their job that they do during the week, and then they want to do something totally different on the drill weekend or do the same thing. We have men and women that are local PDs out in the civilian world, and they want to do the same thing when they come on the base. And then again, we have people that just could be local PD, and they want to work with computers on a drill weekend. So whatever you want to do, we're like a city within a city. The same job we offer in the military, we offer the same job they offer in the civilian world. We pretty much offer on the military side of the house. That's pretty much wraps it up for about our history.
It gives me such a feeling of technological superiority that I've never had before in an aircraft.
This is the F-35. Only a handful of pilots are certified to fly it, and 3 main things make it the most intelligent fighter jet ever built. Its sleek design and radar-absorbing body make the plane virtually undetectable on radar.
If I have enemy aircraft coming at me, I can see them before they see me. So I get first look, first shot, first kill capability.
The F-35 collects data from multiple onboard sensors, processes the information, and sends it not only to the pilot, but to ground crews as well.
All these computers throughout the airplane are all interconnected with fiber, so we have a supersonic fiber network flying around.
And every pilot gets a customized helmet that can literally see through the floor of the plane.
We have 6 windows around the airplane that I can project that image into my helmet and see what the airplane's seeing.
The plane may be technologically ahead, but the F-35 is 7 years behind schedule, and the cost has skyrocketed to 70% higher than the original estimate.
A term has been used, the most expensive weapon system ever, and that's because we're actually building 3 variants of the same basic aircraft for the U.S. Navy, U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Air Force.
Lockheed builds the F-35s in Fort Worth, Texas. The company could generate as much as $6 billion from F-35 sales this year alone. Only 108 have been completed so far, but Lockheed is contracted to make more than 2,400 jets by 2039.
The combination of the stealth and the ability of this airplane to use that stealth, how that really translates to the fighter pilots of the future, it makes them survivable and it makes them lethal.
Did you want to cover, Jesse, some of the occupations?
Yeah, so before we jump into that last video, just to give everybody an idea of how we prepare for this sort of thing, a few years back, we had special contracts made up for people who were joining to go spend 3 years on active duty working on the F-35 in whatever career field they chose. And then coming back to us, and a lot of them are starting to show up now. Almost all of them are here, I think.
Right, about 30 of them.
And so what they are doing is now they're going to be the system experts to come back and help train our people. And so this next video, this last one we're going to show, explains a little bit about that program. We went out and we visited some of our folks out in Utah and got to hear what they were doing out there and how they're preparing to come back and train our people for the F-35.
Matt Dykus, and I'm part of the what's known as the Vermont 45 in the EAD program. We sent 45 of our Air National Guard troops out to 4 different active duty bases, and I'm here at Luke Air Force Base along with about 14 others from our home unit, all different career fields, and we're all working here together training on the F-35 to bring our experience back home.
It was important to send Guardsmen out on this program for 3 years to gain this experience because we are the first Guard unit to get this aircraft. There is no painted path for us to do this. Vermont is the pioneer in this program and setting this up. So it was crucial to send these 45 members to multiple locations to all gather different experiences to make sure we had mission success in fall of 2019.
My favorite part about this program is learning a new job. I always like to try to learn as much as I can, and I feel like I'm doing a big part in service, helping others and knowing that I'm going to be working on a new aircraft that essentially is going to help defend our nation.
Our Guardsmen's performance has been outstanding. Some of the accomplishments that our Guardsmen have had here on the EAD program have been Tech Sergeant Bessery, eliminating probably about 50% of the canopy flex charge time replacement. Most of our LO troops here have been a part of a program first for wet layup carbon fiber repairs in the field. Tech Sergeant Janes is running the first multi-HAZ AMU tool room, and Tech Sergeant Kucher is part of the first Air Force F-35 demo team.
Coming into this program, we decided it'd be beneficial, so we moved my family. Our family moved across the country for 3 years. It's been quite a learning experience for all of us. So I was given the opportunity to be a part of a team that works flexible linear-shaped charges, all the explosives and items in the ejection seat that get the pilot out if there's ever an emergency. And throughout that process, doing them over and over, we eliminated numerous steps and molded steps together to where we've cut 129 hours of the process. So instead of a 5-day task, we now get the aircraft ready in 3 days.
We've been doing some pretty extraordinary things since we've been here. Some of the things we've been doing in LO are we're repairing panels that have never been repaired before on this airframe. There's like 3-4 panels that we've restored and is now in the job tech data Air Force wide for the procedures that we've created here at Luke.
I feel extremely confident to be able to go back and help our mission at the 158th, only because Luke has done a really good job with making sure that we've been able to be well-rounded. Anytime I wanted to be put in a position where, hey, I kind of want to learn a little bit more about this, can we go here? If we wanted to make sure that we wanted knowledge growth on anything, that they would be able to allow that to happen.
When I first got to Luke Air Force Base, they had the F-35 Heritage Flight Team, and it's basically a team that travels around to all the air shows and kind of shows off the F-35, and I was really excited about it, and I put in an application and ended up getting selected through an interview process to join the team. And this year we actually transitioned to the F-35 demonstration team, and I was named the F-35 demonstration team lead. So being able to travel all over the country and all over the world and show off the jet, and just seeing people's reactions when they see the jet for the first time and they see what it can do has been really rewarding for me, and that excitement is just going to carry back with me to Vermont Air National Guard.
So knowing that what we do here at Luke is a very crucial part of the B-Tank's mission is extremely rewarding. We are here pioneering a new program that's never really been done before, and just knowing that I'm doing this for my unit back home and setting them up for success is absolutely amazing.
The best thing about being a part of this program, and I think personally, is that they always tell you that you're bigger, that being in the Guard or being in the military in general is always being something greater than yourself. But this program, we are the future of the Vermont Air National Guard. And when I first came in at 17, I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to be given the opportunity to be able to represent Vermont in such an amazing way. And it's just been pretty great to be able to be that number, to be that person that gets to come home and be like, yeah, I ramped up this aircraft, I helped, we all did such a great job on making sure that Vermont was taken care of, and they trusted me, which is just the coolest feeling in the world.
All right, so that's just a little bit about who we are, where we've come from, and where we're going. So I just want to touch base on a few of our benefits that all our members get to take advantage of when they join. And then we're going to open up the floor for questions and interaction, because I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions out there. So our biggest pull right now in terms of benefits has been the new education bill that was passed that pays up to 100% tuition to schools like UVM, NVUs, the CCVs. We pay almost all of VTC or Castleton as well. And so a lot of our people who are in school that are members of the Guard are going there 100% tuition free. Another reason a lot of people join are healthcare. One young man, Ben, he owns a CrossFit gym in St. Albans. His wife's a pharmacist, and they're paying over $800 a month for their health care. And he joined the Guard. For him and his family, he pays just a little over $200 a month, saving him over $600 plus all the other benefits he's gaining as well. So the health care is a fantastic benefit that people get to take advantage of. Another big one is our technical training. All of our jobs are college accredited training that you go through. So all those different career fields that you saw in the videos, we send them off to a very technical training that the Air Force provides. And they come home with college credits just from that alone. And then there's just some real practical stuff as well. If you go shopping at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're going to get a 10% discount just for being a part of the military. If you like to ski, like Mr. Bradshaw, and if you're a member of the Air National Guard, you get to, and your whole family gets a free season pass to resorts like Jay Peak, and very discounted tickets to places like Stowe and Smuggler's Notch and a lot of the other mountains as well. But one great way for you to find out about us further is we have an app. The 158 Fighter Wing here in Vermont has a very own app. If you go into, if everybody gets their phone out right now, it'll take 2 seconds, pull your phone out, go into your app store, type in 158FW for Fighter Wing. You will see that image that was at the beginning of the slides. Ethan Allen there. And that is our app, and on that app, you'll be able to see videos, there'll be contact information, different resources and stuff that we provide through the Air National Guard.
There are positions listed on that app.
There is, yeah. So there's job announcements on there for part-time and full-time openings for enlisted and officer and civilian positions even on our base. So you don't even have to be a member of the Air National Guard to work with us. We have quite a few civilian positions as well. And so what we're looking for in the Air National Guard, this is for all those people that you get to meet and interact with. Our age limit is 17 to 40, so you can join as long as you're off to training by your 40th birthday. There's a physical and a test that people take in order to join. The test is called the ASVAB. Many of you may have heard of it or maybe even taken it in high school. The ASVAB and the physical you take determine what jobs you qualify for. And then what we always like to do is just bring people out to the base. So if you or anybody you know is interested, get a hold of us. Mr. Bradshaw has our information, and we would love to just give you a tour, especially when the new F-35s get into town. A lot of our new buildings are just state-of-the-art, beautiful base, and just come out and see what we do. Get to meet the people doing the job and see how that goes. Do you want to add anything?
I pretty much echo everything Jesse just mentioned. You don't know what you don't know. There's a lot of great opportunities. I like to tell a lot of young men and women, it's a great way to jumpstart your career. Nobody says you have to stay in for 20, 30 years or anything along that line, but if it's going to help you pay for your educational benefits, let us help you. As you look outside right now, you see green trees, but you don't see any money trees out there or anything along that line. So education is not free, but let the government help you pay for your education so you have your extra money to do what you want to do. But also it helps you pick up a trade. College isn't for everybody. Picking up a trade. I was talking to a gentleman to my left a couple of minutes ago, and he talked about HVAC. We'll send you to school. You get all the training, we'll send you to school, come back, and that makes yourself that much more marketable out here in the civilian world. So let us help you jumpstart your career. Again, you don't know what you don't know. Nobody says there's a commitment to us by sitting down talking to us or another recruiter. But let us show you what we do and how we do. We're very proud and very good at what we do, just like you're very good at what you do. But these young men and women, there's a lot of opportunities out there for you right in your backyard. All you got to do is pick up a phone or go on our website or to the app, and they'll lead you to where we're located over in South Burlington. So again, I echo Sergeant Ranslow and what he stated. And we appreciate the opportunity to share with you what we do and how we do and how proud we are. And again, when the F-35s come to the base, check us out. There's no commitment or anything along that line, but there's a lot of opportunities out there for you, and let us help you jumpstart your career.
So Paul, that's a good question there. Do the civil positions receive the same benefits such as tuition assistance and the ski pass and all that? In order to get those, you would need the military ID. So a lot of these benefits that we're talking about are for the members of the Vermont Air National Guard on the military side of the house. However, you would receive a special ID, a government ID, to get on base and to access all the places we do, and some places will honor that, but by the books, it's not part of the package.
I really want to thank these gentlemen for coming today. I'll open up to any more questions from folks before we close. So this is your last chance. Nat, please.
Yeah. Could you speak to other, not only part-time opportunities that we saw in the video, are there also full-time opportunities within the Guard? Could you speak to that?
There are. So right now we have about 1,000 people on our base. Full-time, we have about 350 people full-time. So the best way you get a full-time job is you come on part-time. Let's say, for example, you come on part-time, you want to work in work on the computers. And if a full-time position opens up, you apply for it. Like anybody else, you apply for it, you get it, and that's going to start your path to a full-time position. So it's part-time for that 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the year, but also that full-time, like I indicated. And going back to your saying, it's like, again, as I stated earlier, we're like a city within a city. So there's jobs for personnel, there's jobs for fire department, security forces, medical, civil engineering, finance, there's vehicle mechanics, There's services of people provide food. There are a number of different jobs that are available out there. And you might say, I'm always interested in doing this. And as Jesse was saying earlier, take the test, see if you're qualified. And if you're qualified, they'll send you to school, and they will treat you like you're learning this for the very first time, which is very beneficial. So you don't have to have a knack already to do a certain job. So again, take that leap of faith. Pick up the phone, send an email, whatever the case may be, but there are a number of different jobs, just like there are out in the civilian world, that we offer on the base that can benefit.
Yeah, so in terms of that too, so what I'm excited about being a full-time member of the Guard is working 20 years and being able to retire. Having that full-time pension benefit there for some as young as 37 years old, and that being that young, being able to start another career, right, work towards another pension, maybe on the federal side, more government work, the benefits are phenomenal. When I retire after 20 years, I'll pay roughly $500 a year for health care for my entire family, to receive that continued full health care to include dental and vision and all that good stuff. So that's why full-time is such a good deal for a lot of people. And again, it's not for everybody, but for me, that's what I'm very excited about.
And you mentioned start as young as 17.
Correct.
Does an individual have to have a high school diploma to come in, or is that something they can come in without a high school diploma?
That's a great question. So this morning, actually at 10 o'clock this morning, a young man named Brandon Lockwood is going to be enlisting into the Vermont Air National Guard. He's going to be a senior at VFA St. Albans. And so you don't need the diploma as long as you are going to get the diploma within that next year, so that before he goes off to training. So the diploma is mandatory before you can go to basic training and your job training, but it's not required in terms of enlisting. So he'll be able to do his 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year before he graduates high school. He's going to be a member of the team already.
And I'm just curious, does your website have like a master list of the occupations, or is there a place somebody can see all that wide variety of positions?
So the website that was at the end of that video does have a good description of many of the jobs that we have, and links to other videos for job-specific things.
So if folks go to the Air National Guard, Vermont Air National Guard website, you'll find all that.
Exactly, and there's going to be a lot of links as well on that app.
Yep.
Also.
And just to piggyback on the high school diploma, if you can even join if you have a GED. So if you don't have a high school diploma, you can definitely join the GED as well.
Okay. Putting on a last call for any remaining questions, and if there aren't any, we're going to go ahead and close out this session. I have recorded this today, so what I'm going to do is I'll archive this on a shared drive so that folks can access it outside of this live show. For anyone who missed it, or for a refresher, if you want to come back and see any portion of this video, it will be available to you. And I'll send that link out to folks a little bit later this afternoon. So I don't see any more questions coming, so I'm going to assume everybody has the information they need. I want to thank you all for coming on today. A lot of folks joined. That's very nice that everybody came. And again, I want to extend my great thanks to the folks from the Guard. Really wonderful opportunities, and thank you for coming all the way to Waterbury here to do this.
Our pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So thank you. We'll close out now. Thank you, folks. Have a great day.